All good? Okay. So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this seminar. This is all about an employer-assisted visa. So it is excellent seminar if you're looking to apply for an employer-assisted visa, even if you don't have a work experience, because I'm going to navigate you with a pathway, okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hands. If I'm going too fast, please feel free to raise hand because I tend to go fast. Please, okay? So I'll try to go slow though, okay? So this training visa 407 has recently become very popular for several reasons. The very first reason it has become popular because of the age limit on 485 visa. So let's say if you're over 36, you cannot apply post-study work visa, right? Those people tend to apply a training visa. 407. How many of you do not know anything about training visa, like they are not aware? Is anybody of you like this? Yeah. So you'll get to know a lot, okay? So let's see how we go ahead. So this training visa is basically helps you to enhance your skills. Let's say you just studied certificate 4 plus diploma of kitchen management, and you cannot apply for a post-study work visa. In that scenario, you will be applying for a training visa. This visa, we will get it up to 2 years, guys. Okay, so let's see how we go ahead. So again, as I said, a temporary visa allowing individuals to undertake structured, workplace-based occupational training or professional development in Australia. Okay. So there are 3 types of training visas, particularly. First one is, this one is very popular to enhance an existing skills. Let's say you want to get a skill of a plumber, you want to get a skill of a chef. You have qualification, but you don't have relevant work experience. In that scenario, you're going to choose enhanced skill. This is the most popular type of training visa. The next one is to obtain the registration. Occupations like electrician, plumber, they all need registration. In that scenario, they can also apply training visa and building capacity. So this is for foreign, those who have foreign qualification but don't have onshore work experience, they also tend to apply training visa. Is it clear so far? Is it all good, guys? Okay. So as I said, it is typically granted up to 2 years, but it can vary. So let's say your employer is only happy to sponsor for 1 year, then we will ask them to give you a training visa for 1 year only. But you can ask up to 2 years. Anything more than 2 years is risky, but they don't give it. So just 2 years, you can sort your visa up to 2 years with training visa. Okay, it is definitely employer sponsored. You cannot apply training visa without an employer. The employer must be willing to sponsor you on training visa, must give you an employment contract. There is no minimum pay, but they must give you minimum 30 hours of contract so that they can sponsor you on training visa, okay? This is basically an practical training, not a theoretical training. So most of your training must be practical. You should be learning, you should be actually doing that job. That's why they gave you this training visa options, okay? And it is obviously multi-entry visa, and you can also include your family members from overseas. But let's say you include your dependent, they will only get 20 hours of working rights, okay? So if you're including your partner, they won't get full-time working rights. You will have full-time working rights, but you can only work for that particular employer who is sponsoring you on training visa. Is that all good, guys? Yep. Let's move on to the next slide. So who is this training visa for? For individuals, obviously, students, as I said, seeking practical training for an overseas qualification, professional looking to upskill or gain international experience, individuals needing workplace experience for professional registration in Australia or their home country. And it is also for businesses who want to train particular staff in Australia, okay? So it's ideal for them. It provides structured training to enhance the skill of an international talent, complying with industry requirements for training or development. So for employer, what they need? They need to provide you a detailed training plan. Ideally, we prepare 52 weeks of training plan where they give you what areas they are going to work on. On that basic training plan, your visa depends, your nomination approval depends. I'll run down all the steps, so just please be with me. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. Let's move to the next slide. So these are the 3 stages of training visa: sponsorship application, nomination application, and visa application. So sponsorship and nomination application is usually done by an employer. Employer usually bear the cost for this, but the visa application has to be done by an employee. So this sponsorship is different than 482 visa sponsorship. This sponsorship for training visa is called TES, temporary activity sponsorship. So if your employer says he has already a sponsorship, please check with them which kind of sponsorship they have, okay? Because if they don't have a temporary activity sponsorship, they can't do your training visa, okay? Once they have tests, they can nominate you. In this nomination application, we have to provide a training plan, the one I was just talking about, the employment contract. So all basic documents are required for the nomination application. And once the nomination is lodged, we can also apply for visa application. Now, a lot of people, they ask me, do we have to wait for any of this to get approved? I have done all these 3 steps in a one day. We don't have to wait for an approval either for sponsorship, nomination, or visa application. If this all 3 can be done in one single day, guys. So this is the things a lot of migration agents don't tell, but I'm telling you, okay? If you have your visas expiring in 2 weeks, the employer just got, okay, let's do training visa, I can help you with that, okay? I mean, so migration can help you with that. We can do all these 3 steps in one day. But that doesn't mean you come to us last minute. Please give us at least 1 or 2 weeks of time. But yeah, this is the easiest visa to handle. If your visa is expiring soon, the only thing you have to make sure is you have an employer happy to sponsor you. Okay, guys? Cool. So let's move to the next slide. Any doubts still here? No? No? Okay. Okay, so nomination application for sponsorship. So as I said, there are 3 types of training stream: occupational training required for registration, enhancing skills, and overseas qualification need an onshore work experience for that. So these are the training streams. So the most important document is the structured training plan is absolutely important. If you don't have a good training plan, the chances of nomination refusals are pretty high. So please make sure you see that training plan. There are no errors in it, and it is detailed and designed in a way the business needs. The business related training plan is very important, okay? And processing time, these days, it is anywhere between 6 to 7 months for the nomination. So again, they're talking about the crucial training plan. So in that, what it must include: a training objective, what areas they will work for you, skill assessment. So basically, they have to assess what skills you have and what skills that you need to work on. That kind of gaps we have to identify in the training plan. The structure, how they will train you, delivery method, time frames, that like say in January they'll train you on this area, and February they'll train you in this area. Like that, the structure is very important, okay? And who will be your supervisor? So supervisor, so they have to definitely mention the name of the supervisor and what would be the outcome of the training plan, and monitoring and assessment, how the progress will be tracked. That all, these are the important information which must be present in your training plan if you want an approval for your nomination, okay? So this is definitely very important slide to look at. And as I said, you must have minimum 30 hours of employment contract to get the nomination approved. 70% of the training must be workplace-based training, not a classroom-based like this. not theoretical, but practical learning, okay? And they must show that there is a genuine need of that person in the business. Let's say a restaurant is training a chef, heads up, yes, you can go ahead and do it. But if a restaurant is training a plumber, I would highly doubt why he would train a plumber. So we have to use a common sense in that. Does the business actually need that position? Okay? So stage 3, finally, it's your turn. It's a visa application. The now fees for this is around $415. So it's a very cost-efficient visa. I would keep it this way. Okay? So you must be obviously 18 years or above. Your sponsorship and nomination application must be lodged. You need to provide a functional English requirement. But if you have studied in Australia, let's say you studied for 2 years in Australia and you are applying training visa, you are exempt from this requirement of English language. Okay? You must meet your health examination is required that you will do it. Character, health insurance, you have to continue to maintain your overseas visitor health cover. And financial, we usually recommend to show some funds in your account to immigration. Usually I recommend 5,000, but there's no such figure, okay? So we also have to provide them a GT statement like how we do in student visa, but we again help you to write that statement. And you must have complied with all your previous visa application conditions, okay? You should not have breached any condition. This is generic for all the visas. So yeah, this is training visa application. Any doubts here? Anything from the live? No? Okay, cool. Let's move to the next slide. So this is a checklist. Usually we upload in the training visa. We upload, of course, passport, CV, proof of English proficiency, health examination result, PCC. So PCC is required for all the countries you have lived in last 10 years for more than 12 months. So PCC is definitely required even from overseas. Okay, training plan details provided by sponsor, evidence of qualification and work experience. So what is the basic requirement, how you become eligible for training visa? So there are 2 requirements. Either you should meet only one. Either you should have relevant 12 months of work experience or highly relevant qualification. Let's say you have certificate 4 in kitchen management. You just graduated. Yes, you can apply for a chef training visa. But you don't have any of this. You don't even have 12 months of work experience. You can't apply. So what do you need? 12 months of work experience or relevant qualification. Okay, guys? Cool. And there's no age limit. You can be of any age here. So minimum is 18, but there's no maximum. Rights and responsibilities for visa holders, as I said, you will get 30 hours. This is generally 30 hours, but you will get full-time working rights, okay? Visa conditions are you must not engage in any other work. You must maintain your health insurance. These are the 2 basic conditions they put on your training visa application, okay? So if you're on a training visa, please be mindful you cannot work for any other employer. You must stick to the employer who has sponsored you for training visa. Okay, and yeah, that's pretty much it. What can go absolutely wrong in training visa? I have seen training visas going absolutely down to the dogs because they don't provide good training plan. This is the biggest flaw where things can go wrong. Number 2 is there is, 1 second, sorry. Okay, yes. So mismatch between training and business. As I said, if a restaurant is sponsoring somebody as a plumber, it's a mismatch of a business requirement. It will be refused. High chances of getting refusal. One more common reason I have seen, which is not mentioned here, when somebody has a lot of experience. Let's say I have a chef, 5 years of experience on resume, and they are applying for training visa. It's a highly questionable thing why you're applying training visa, because you're already trained. You're already a chef. So you have to use these kind of common sense when we apply for training visa. So please be mindful. to get it assessed from a professional before you lodge it. So yeah, these are the common pitfalls for training visa, for a visa applicant. They don't comply, they don't have enough English, misunderstanding the visa conditions, lack of GT, their GT statement is not good enough for immigration, and incomplete documentation may lead to refusal, okay? So let's say you're claiming that you have functional English, but you have not provided any evidence for the same. In that case, it will get refused. So be mindful. Providing evidence of English, providing an experience or 12-month experience or qualification document are very much necessary for a training visa. This is where the visa goes wrong, okay? Generally, if the nomination is approved, the visa should go through unless there is something horribly wrong with the visa application. So after this, we are going to talk about, let's say we got you 407 visa for 1 year. What's your next step? How you can navigate this further to get a skilled visa like 482, 186. Those kind of examples we are going to talk about very shortly. But yeah, any doubts still here, guys? Anybody have any questions? Please feel free to raise hands. No? Yes, please. No, not for training visa, no. You don't need a skill assessment for training visa, not required. For training visa, there is no skill assessment required, but for 482, there is, okay? The one we are going to talk ahead. But for training visa, the only requirement is 12 months of work experience or, please mind it, it's or relevant qualification, okay? You don't need anything else. Yes, yes, absolutely. It can be an overseas work experience as well. So far, you can prove it on paper. If we can't prove it, then we can't. Let's say you say me, Dahar, I've worked on cash overseas. It's in overseas, especially in countries like Asian countries, it's very common to get paid in cash, right? So let's say that's the case. Then they provide, then we have to provide an employment contract, reference letter. So we have to at least provide 3 evidences supporting that we have worked overseas. So proving that 12 months of work experience is absolutely crucial. If not, then you have to prove that you have relevant qualification. Either is fine. Even from overseas in Australia, doesn't matter. Okay? Okay, guys? Yep. Cool. Should I go ahead? Yeah? No questions? Sure? Yep. Please ask.
So if somebody is working as an educator
Okay.
in a childcare,
Okay.
but they're studying to become a teacher,
Okay.
are they going to like train them for a teacher during the 407 visa and use the visa as a pathway to 482?
They can do that. So you are saying if somebody is studying to become a pre-primary teacher or a early childhood educator, then the employer can use this pathway to get them on an employer-assisted visa, 482 or 186. Is that what you're asking? Yes, they can. This is actually a pathway. So training visas for somebody who is looking to apply for an employer-assisted visa and they lack work experience. We'll talk about this, okay? Very good question. We'll absolutely talk about this. So training visa can be used, okay? So any other questions here? You have a question? Oh, you're good, okay. Cool, so we are moving to the next slide. Skills in demand. Very fancy new name for the visa for 482. Has been there for ages, but now they call it as skills in demand visa. So this is your pathway from 407, the one we just did. So those who wants to apply for skills in demand visa don't have any work experience, just have qualification in hand. They usually go for training visa 407 followed by 482. It's the name of the subclasses 482, skills in demand visa. In this we are going to talk all these things. So this is a planning level. They are going to give us 100, these are the basically visas which will be granted, not 482, but the permanent visas which will be granted in coming years. That's just a number. They give us a planning level. So what are the PR visa options? We're going to only talk about skills in demand visa today. It's little, I'll come back to this slide after I do the 482, because then only you'll understand what this update is all about. So, okay, skills in demand, there are 3 pathways: essential skills pathway, core skill pathway, and specialist skill pathway. The most popular one, which are used by maximum of the employer and employees, is the core skill pathway. This is where all the occupation mainly lies, okay? In this, they include nurse, chefs, cook, childcare, etc. So if your occupation is under core skill occupation list, how many of you have actually seen that list, core skill occupation list? Have you seen that list? There are over 456 occupations. If your occupation is in that list, you will be surprised to see that you can apply for an employer-assisted visa, that is subclass 482. There is no such list for specialist skill pathway. It is highly skilled people, those who have salary of above $135,000. They usually apply for specialist skill pathway. And the essential skill pathway, which is not very, very popular, but it is still there. It is like a labor agreement, okay? You don't have to have a minimum salary. You will be usually exempt if you are a care and support industry worker. Okay, this is totally a different kind of, different than what we have, this core skill and specialist skill pathway. So today we are going to mainly focus on these 2. Okay, so as I said, core skill pathway, there are again 3 steps in it: sponsorship, nomination, and visa application. You can only apply 482 visa if your occupation is in a core skill occupation list. You can feel free to Google it. The one PDF will come up. It has 456 occupations. If your occupation is one of them, then you can apply under core skill occupation visa 482. Okay? There are a lot of occupations: chef, cook, carpenter, painter, IT, accountant, engineer, nurse, marketing specialist, childcare worker. They have recently added. Earlier, childcare worker did not had lot of options, but now childcare worker has an option. Those who have certificate 4 or certificate or diploma in this childcare. Hairdresser is also there. Yeah. So quite, you will be surprised to see that list, because they have added so many occupations in that earlier, which was not the case. Okay. What is the requirement to be eligible for 482 visa? Firstly, you must have an employer. Given in any situation, employer is absolutely required, okay? You need an employer who is happy to sponsor you. You need qualification and 1 year of work experience. So this is a pathway. So let's say you got a qualification. After that, you came on a training visa. You took 1 year of work experience, and following that 1 year, you can apply for a 482 visa, because that's a prerequisite of a 482. Qualification and 1 year work experience. It's not or, it's and. You need absolutely both things. You cannot have only one and ask them to sponsor you, no. You need relevant qualification and work experience to apply for 482 visa. You need IELTS or PT 5 each or 36 each in PT. You can get 482 visa up to 4 years. It depends on your employer how much he wants to sponsor you for. Okay, and after 2 years you can apply for PR. That's the employer nomination scheme, subclass 186. But we are not going to talk about it today. And there is again no age limit. Okay, even if you are 50 years old, you want to apply, yes you can. You can get up maximum 4 years and minimum 2 to the 482 visa. Okay, any doubts here, guys? No? No doubts? Cool. Which kind of experience are okay for 482 visa? So any work experience which are casual, part-time, but must be in recent 5 years are okay for 482. What evidence usually we provide that we have 1 year of work experience, even if it's from overseas? That is a reference letter and a pay evidence. But as I said, if you have worked in cash, if you don't have that, then you have to think of an alternative. If you have lodged any tax overseas, that could be an evidence. Employment contract is an evidence. Pay slip is an evidence. Any such evidence you can produce can be used to apply your 482 visa. Any work experience during studies also okay, before studies also okay. Cash job, I'll be a little reluctant to use this if it's in Australia and you don't have an evidence, okay? And home country work experience is also okay. Cool. Any questions still here? Please ask.
The first sentence, 12 months.
Equivalent work experience. Yes. No, so they have written full-time by mistake, sorry. So earlier it was only full-time, but now it's okay. Casual, part-time. So far you have 12 months, you're good to go. Okay?
QB and also IELTS, we can take the general and academic, like, it doesn't matter?
Yes, it should be okay. But usually what people do is they do go for PT. It's much easier and you only need 36 each for 482. But I think a general is okay for 482. Any questions? Please ask.
If you're studying like a bachelor's
Mm-hmm.
and you have applied for this visa, does the work experience count only after I finish my bachelor's?
No,
or
during studies also okay.
studies?
It's okay. All good? No questions, guys? No, sure, cool. Okay, so that's the process usually. This is an important slide, okay? Any photo if you want, please feel free to take it. The sponsorship is a crucial, please, I'll let you take the photo first. Okay. So this sponsorship, again, I'm emphasizing this sponsorship is different than the sponsorship we talked about in training visa. There are two kinds of sponsorship, temporary activity sponsorship and standard business sponsorship. This is different. This is SBS, standard business sponsorship. The employer must have SBS to nominate you. So that's the first step, getting a standard business sponsorship for an employer. Employer gets it. After they have the sponsorship, they can lodge your nomination. Okay, they can nominate you. There must be a genuine need of that person in the business, like I talked about. And then you can apply for visa. Okay, these are the fees. Sponsorship fee is 420. Nomination fee is 330. They have to pay a levy because they are not hiring any Australian citizen or resident and they are giving a preference to an overseas worker. They have to pay levy to government, that is 1,200 per year if their business is under 10 million or 1,800 per year if their business is over 10 million. But this has to be paid by an employer. You're not supposed to pay. The employee should not pay this cost, okay? They must do a labor market test if your countries from Nepal, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, such countries, the labor market test is absolutely required. They have to run an advertisement on 2 platforms for minimum of 28 days where they show that they have done genuine attempts to hire an Australian. They failed to do that, which is why they are nominating you, okay? So that's the labor market. You must have heard labor market test, but what is labor market test? This is what it is. 2 advertisement must be done in a prescribed way, but you don't need to know much about it currently. And this employment contract has to be full-time. Anything less than 38 is a refusal. So it's your responsibility also to check the employment contract. Have they given you a minimum salary? That is 73,150. Okay, anything less than that, nomination will refuse. Okay, that's a minimum salary they have to give, or an Australian market salary rate, whichever is higher. Okay, so let's say I'm nominating a nurse RN. Can I give RN just 73,000? It's too less. That means whatever the Australian market salary rate is, I have to give that to an employee. Okay, so that's what they check in salaries. So these are the documents usually prepared by an employer. Any employer here? No? And nobody, no employer, right? Okay, now I'm not talking more about it. And this is a visa application. You need English, relevant qualification, 1 year of full-time work experience. Even part-time is okay. Again, full-time is, part-time is okay. And what documents you need, or what is the fee? The fee is 3,115. And subsequent temporary charges apply 700 if you are applying second temporary visa in Australia. I'll give you an example. Let's say you applied for a student visa extension in Australia. After student visa extension, your studies finished, you are not able to apply 485 because of your age restriction. You apply for 482 or 407 visa. In that cases, you pay additional $700 because you are applying second temporary visa in Australia. This is when they charge this. But if you're going from 485 to this, 485 is not considered as a penalty charge, okay? So you don't pay additional 700. If you're on 485 and thinking to apply 482, don't worry, you're not paying this. Most of you would be either situation, either student visa or 482, okay? Any questions, please? No? Sure? Cool. So that's what the cost of sponsoring is all about that I talked. Skilling Australia Fund, that's a levy which the employer pays, not an employee. So it's 1,200 per year or 1,800 per year. That's for under 10 million and that's for over 10 million. And this is for direct entry 186 visa. But again, as I said, we are not talking about 186 today, so we don't have to worry about it. Okay, they have just given an example. Let's say they are nominating a childcare worker. The business is under 10 million. So it's 1,200 times 3, that is 3,600. If there is a very big IT company and they are sponsoring a software engineer, so that's 1,800. If they are sponsoring for 4 years times 4, so that's the levy they pay. Okay? That's again for an employer. Now, very interesting thing has happened in July 2024, where immigration gave you a liberty. Let's say they nominated you, they sponsored you, they spend a lot of money on you, but after that they are harassing you. They are asking for more. Then immigration gives you a liberty. You don't have to stick to that employer, okay? Immigration gives you 6 months, go and find another employer. If you want to change it, you can absolutely change it. They give you 180 days. Earlier they used to give only 2 months, but now they give 6 months to find a brand new employer and you can apply your 482 visa with them, okay? Reapply. And but the employer has to inform immigration within 28 days of you getting fired. Okay, let's say they fire you. Yeah, they have to inform immigration within 28 days, but you have 180 days to find another employer. Okay? So this is actually a very easy access to a permanent residency. This has become lot more popular compared to a general skilled visas like 189, 190. In those, there is a competition, okay? You have to chase your points, you have to do your superior English, you have to do your NATI, professional year, what not. But here, there's no competition. If your employer is happy and there is a genuine need of the business and you have a good migration agent, yes, your nomination will get approved, okay? So, yeah. So any further questions here? Any questions, guys? Okay. So this will be what I was talking about. First would be your student visa. Let's say after student visa, you are still under 35. Apply your graduate visa. Graduate visa, you can either go for 482 or, no, sorry, 482 would be the visa. And then that's a PR, employer assisted PR, that is 186. I'll give you a brief overview for 186 because it's coming so many times and then you will have curiosity what the hell is that. So I'll tell you. 186, there are 2 pathways, TRT. You can go from 482 to 186, 2 years of work experience required on 482, and you can apply 186 under TRT stream, that is transition stream. But let's say you have 485 visa for 5 years and you're working for same employer for more than 3 years, full-time work experience, you can apply 186 direct entry directly after 3 years. But 186 direct entry needs 3 years of full-time work experience. You can skip this part and directly apply 186, and that's your permanent residency. Okay? Did I confuse you anywhere? No? Are you sure? Yes, please.
Graduate visa is only for 2 years, right? But
No, usually it is up to 4 years. Sometimes, you know, people study in regional and they, like Indian citizens, they get 3 years for masters. 3 years of post-study work visa if they studied masters. So each country has different. Hong Kong, they get 5 years. So they can get 4 to 5 years of graduate visa, depending on the nationality, qualification, and all that stuff. So if they have that, an employer, they have been working for same employer for 3 years, they can absolutely go to 186 direct entry. Okay? Yeah? Any questions, guys? Yes, please. No, no, they don't need employer. So,
For example, if anybody studied about the management diploma program something, they can apply or no? Just for who this graduate visa?
graduate visa is for somebody who is on student visa and they have studied and they are eligible for 485, those who they can apply for graduate visa. I mean,
Shouldn't be specific one. For example, kitchen management,
they can apply. Yeah.
project management. For example,
What did you study?
first I finished diploma program,
Mm-hmm.
project management, and then I started leadership.
If you did, okay, to know whether you can apply graduate visa, there are 2 simple ways. If you have done any higher education, bachelor's, master's, you can apply. But let's say you have done diploma or vocational course. If your occupation is in a medium-term occupation list, then you can apply graduate visa. Okay, let's say you studied diploma of nursing. After diploma of nursing, you become EN, enrolled nurse. That's not in medium-term occupation list, then you can't apply graduate visa. So you must check, before choosing course, you must see a professional whether this will lead to a graduate visa or not. Okay? Okay, so English skills, student visa, now it has increased. Graduate visa, it's now 6.5. You need overall 6.5, no less than 6. And for 482, you need 5 only. And for 186, you need 6 each. So, let's say you studied something which is not PR related and you're not finding an employer also. Let's say you did bachelor's of community service. After that, you got 2 years of 485. In that 2 years, we recommend you to get a skill which will help you to get an employer assisted visa, which is why we have added these courses. You can do courses like IT, accountant, nursing, engineering. A lot of people do civil construction design courses. That's why we have added this course options for you. You can do cookery as well. So these are the common cookery colleges. We prefer Gamma as our preferred cookery course. Constructions, TAFE is obviously an alpha college. Civil construction design, these are the colleges which offer civil construction design courses. These are the childcare schools, aged care schools, and that's it. Any questions and answers for us? I think we have, any questions? No? Are you sure? How many of you are planning to apply 482 visa? Anybody is happy to go ahead and have sponsors? Yeah, that's a challenging part, right? To find an employer. It is challenging, I agree. Yes?
How do you know, like, if they do the sponsorship before doing this?
You have to ask them. You have to ask them. But there is also a list of employers who hold the sponsorship, but they don't tell which kind of occupation it is for. Okay, so that's why if you're applying job, you should ask your employer, would you be okay to sponsor me? and then you can ask them to talk to your migration agent, and then they can explain them the entire process. But yeah, if you have, that's why, while you're on a graduate visa, this is not only time to make money full time. This is your time to add your skills, which you did not get chance. Maybe you want to change your career, change your prospect, then you must study something on your 485 visa to get to a pathway of permanent residency. Okay? Yep. Any questions?
There are any visa type without sponsor?
With
For example, I heard some governments, for example, Queensland opened some.
nomination?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are two categories of permanent residency in Australia. One is general skilled migration, and then employer assisted visas. So general skilled migration has 189, 190 and 491. Okay. 190 and 491 are usually state nominations. Okay, this is when you heard that Queensland opened, Queensland closed. That's their state nomination visas, okay, where state nominates you, not an employer. But in that you need to have points, okay. And then there is 189, which is an independent skilled visa. You don't need any state. You can be anywhere in the world and apply. But for general skilled migration, the mandatory document is a skill assessment.
That's not hard. Also, we can
It is competitive. It's not hard. Let's say if you have an employer who is happy to sponsor you, it's not competitive. Employer is happy, he loves your work, he can nominate you. But when it comes to state nomination, there is a competition. There are hundreds of accountants, hundreds of chefs. How many of will get an invite? That's how. It depends on their points. That's why I believe general skill migration is more competitive. Okay, thank you. Any other questions, guys? No questions? Yes, please.
Is it like easier to get sponsored by larger companies compared to the smaller centers?
Very good question. So it's not necessary if it's a large company, you will 100% get a sponsorship approval. It depends whether the company genuinely needs you. Let's say it's an IT company. Obviously, they can hire somebody, software engineer, and they are paying them good salary. Then the chances of nomination approval increases. Okay, there has to be a genuine need. That's the important thing which we have to evaluate when we apply for an employer-assisted visa. Okay, yep. Any other questions, guys? No? Yes.
Question online is like how much do my spouse needs to pay for the visa application if she's added on this visa?
So same, 3115. If it's an employer-assisted visa, same fee, 3115. Okay. Do you have a question? No? No? Any other questions? No? Please ask. There are no silly questions in this room, okay? There are absolutely no silly questions, no judgments. Please ask. Feel free to ask.
More questions.
Yeah, please ask.
So,
Do you want to write down?
right now, my visa is the student visa.
Okay.
So, is it possible for me to change from student visa to training visa?
Yes, you can. If your employer is ready to sponsor, but student visa is something, do you have a qualification? So what is the prerequisite for training visa? I just explained.
Yeah.
Qualification or 12 months of work experience. If you have any of those, you can absolutely switch from student visa to training visa, even in between.
Thank you.
Okay. But while your training visa, let's say you apply that, is getting processed, do not leave your studies in between. You must comply your student visa conditions. Yes, please. Sorry?
I just already make a 3-year career in Korea.
Okay.
So directly apply as a SDI visa.
You can, if your employer is happy to sponsor you.
No student visa, no graduate, anything.
No, you don't need graduate visa. Graduate visa is just a pathway. So let's say you have 3 years of work experience and relevant qualification. You can ask your employer if they can sponsor you on 482. Okay? But you might need a skill assessment. Just check. There is a, okay. We forgot to add one of the things. So skill assessment is still required for 482, but there is mandatory skill assessment. There are around 25 occupations if they are on top of my mind. If your occupation or your country comes in that list, that means you also need a skill assessment. But you will be exempt from that requirement if you have studied in Australia. Okay, let's say you, again, chef is a very, very popular for 482 visa. Let's say you studied certificate 4 in kitchen management plus diploma, and you have an employer who's happy to sponsor you on 482, you don't need a skill assessment irrespective of any country or nationality you are. Okay, so there are exemptions. So that's why it is very, very important that you check with your migration agent whether you do become eligible or not. So eligibility you must check rather than getting refusal later on. Okay, so these visas do need an expert stat. So feel free to reach out. Yep. Any other questions? No? Yes, please ask.
If I finish a
Diploma of
diploma of AEST, so can I
aged care, okay.
apply to for A2 if I was sponsored?
aged care you might be able to apply if they have a labor agreement. Okay, your employer must have labor agreement to sponsor you. Okay, cool. No questions online? No? Oh, no. Cool. Any other questions, guys, before we wrap up? Any burning question you might want to say, no, it's too funny, please feel free to ask.
There's a question of
What are like the mistakes, that people make while studying or working that might affect their visa applications in the future? Like common or
They work so much, they forget. So you're saying that what are the mistakes what people do while studying, which they shouldn't, like on student visa, right? They work so much, they work on cash, they work full time. They think that they do Uber and immigration won't come to know. They are highly mistaken. These are the mistakes commonly students do. And not maintaining an insurance is also a mistake. Yeah, these are the two major things. And changing so much college, not going attendance, these are common issues. This is when the visas can go wrong. Okay?
I think that our data migration agents already mentioned about the work experience, right? But when I actually supported our client,
Yeah.
it's very common that they have several different workplace, and they say, I worked as a chef in this restaurant, but they can't prove later. If we cannot prove
Yeah.
that we cannot use as a
Yeah.
work experience.
Yep.
So you have to make sure if you change the workplace, then have a
Reference
correct
letter.
reference letter from the employer, and then change, and if change again, then have a correct reference letter.
Yep.
It's very
Very important. Okay, guys. Yes, please ask.
You mentioned that home country clearance.
Yes.
I have a relevant experience in the country. And also
If you can prove it, let's say the reference letter plus any pay evidence, then you can claim it. Then you can use it towards your 482 visa. You must be able to prove that work experience. If you just give me reference letter, Dhara, that this is the only thing I have, sorry, we can't. Okay? So must be proven. So ABN, you must be raising an invoice. So those invoices, you must have paid GST or you must have done your returns. Those are the ways to claim the ABN jobs, but you can claim it. Number of hours you must mention. Let's say you are, what's your occupation? You're Tyler?
Yeah.
Yep, so you must say hours of job spent. So then you must be working as a contractor. Yeah. So do you have an employer and you work independently? Yeah, you can claim it. So the number of invoices you make, those kind of evidence can be used towards claiming your work experience. Okay? Yeah, TFN, ABN, they all are fine. Do you have a question? Please ask. You can prove. It must be relevant. Relevancy is important. You must be qualified to do that work experience, and whether you can prove it. If you can prove it by showing pay slips, bank statement, contract. So when it's overseas, I recommend to add as many as evidence as we can to back it up and submit the application. But yes, it can be claimed. Sorry? No, should be okay. Okay.
So before the wrap up that, I just add one thing.
Sure,
that
please
like
ask.
a current trend that usually the people preparing about the skilled visa. So they are increasing their point with better English skill and then maybe single or certain way. But now, as Tara mentioned, that the skilled visa become very comparative. So this year, let's say chef, we haven't got any invitation.
Invite, yeah.
Chef, to be honest. We got some from the different state, but at least the Queensland state nomination for the chef, we haven't got anything. But construction, we got a lot. So we don't know how it's gonna be changed. Maybe Olympic is coming up, and then there are a lot of demand for the construction. So maybe state they are actually giving some invitation for the construction related occupation. But for the chef this year, oh my God, wasn't really good, to be honest. But if we switch to the employer sponsored visa, even for myself and Dara, that like last two or 3 weeks, we got more than 20, around 20 nomination approval
Yeah.
for the chef and cook.
Yep.
So which means now the people are more like to go through the skilled in demand visa, which is very flexible, but you need employer to sponsor you. So that's why you have a correct employer to sponsor you, and then have a minimum English, and then collect your experience to apply visa. It's very important you to prepare. Very important.
Yep.
For example, if I have applied to a state nomination visa, how long it will take the approval? Because I will be in the bridge visa, also that I can work.
So you can't come on bridging visa till you get an invite. Let's say you got an invite for 190. Once you apply for that visa, okay, you got an invite, and then there is a pre-invitation stage, pre-visa stage, where we have to prove whatever we have submitted in our EOI, expression of interest. We have to give all those documents. It's called pre-invite stage, and then the visa application is made, 190 visa application is made. Following that, you receive a bridging visa. This is when you can continue staying. So bridging visa doesn't come without an invite. Okay, there has to be an invitation. You must have applied and accept that invite and apply for that visa, and then you can get a bridging visa.
It will take time, maybe 6 months for inviting.
It can be any time. There is no such time. Let's say you have applied, as he said, and we are not getting any invites for chef. So if you have applied, you're a chef, you have applied, there's no guarantee that you will get an invite. So there is no guarantee for general skill migration. That's why it is very competitive. Okay, depends on your occupation, whether that state needs it.
Maybe similar.
Similar, yeah. It depends. It varies occupation to occupation. Okay.
There's one question on actually, I think it's just general. It's like in regional city, is it necessary to have a 1-year full-time experience to apply for a sponsor visa in the childcare area in regional cities?
Yes. If they are doing 482, yes. Yes, please ask.
I studied like pastry before.
What did you study?
Patisserie.
Patisserie, okay.
If I found someone with a bakery,
Okay.
still can apply the training visa, or I have to be a pastry chef or a bakery student.
No, if you have a relevant qualification, then and they are happy to sponsor you for to become a chef, then you can apply training visa. You don't need any experience for that.
But for the bakery shop, it's a bit limited.
Yeah.
It's,
Chances of getting refusal are pretty high.
if you complete the pastry course, then your occupation is more like the pastry cook or chef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's different with the baker. So, but it depends on the bakery shop. If they are only focusing on the bread and the bakery things, then it's a bit hard. But they are also doing a lot of dessert and pastry things that then you can.
Where they actually need your skills, patisserie skills.
So still can apply training visa as a bakery shop.
It depends on how they operate in the business. We can't say yes or no about that question.
So
We have
if
to
they
see
sell only
what they are
bakery,
selling.
maybe no.
No,
Okay.
definitely not. It's a baker.
Okay.
So it's good, that's why I was just saying, it's good idea before you take any decision and you say to your employer, yes, let's go ahead, please reach out once and check, is it okay, we are doing this way. We'll be more than happy to assist you. Okay. because it varies case to case. Sometimes business are not eligible, that, oh no, they can't sponsor you. So it's a good idea to reach out.
So after this session, you guys have a bupa. They are providing the CV check. That if you are looking for a job, then maybe you got some feedback from the specialized people about the employment, and so you can have some your CV or resume check from the bupa today. And also after this session, maybe 2 or 3 minute break. Then we will have a career talk from the early childhood education field, social work field, and then childcare field. So if you are interested about that field, then want to get some more real like industry information, our like real students and workers and employer is here,
Yep.
so you can have a chance to learn more about the industry. Okay.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yep, sure. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for hearing me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, okay? Thank you so much.
the essential skill to get a job in your field, then it's really good opportunity because we invite our previous students or the workers in that industry. So we have 3 occupations today. One for the early childhood teacher, and then early childhood education worker, and then social worker. So I hope you guys have a great time. Then first presenter, we may give hands for the early childhood education teacher. Thanks.
Hi everyone, welcome to Soul Education. And my name is Felicia, and I'm early childhood teacher as well as early childhood worker. Based on this, it's kind of like funny because how can you do both jobs together? Actually, yes, because it's a wide range of education. So firstly, I do study my diploma in TAFE, Queensland. So I was an early childhood educator. And later on, I do my bachelor degree, which is eligible for me to be early childhood teacher as well as a primary school teacher, because my degree is a bit different. My degree is 0 to 12 years old, so I can do until grade 6. Yeah, so yeah, but for migration purpose, definitely early childhood teacher is on the sort of list, so it's better options. So I'm not gonna talk about a lot of my personal feelings. Instead, you can raise up your hand to ask me some random question if you want to know more about the industry. So I have been doing this since 2019 and start from, I think it's a assistant educator, which what you think is like doing nappies, sweeping the forest. Yes, I do all of that and I touch all the poo and wee, definitely yes. And later on, I kind of like getting a little bit of promotion while I was still a student. Yeah, holding student visa, 24, I think at the time it's 20 hours per week, and I still got promotion. So it was being, let me think, assistant educator, room leader, and personal in charge, then ECT, all sort of things. Yeah, so I have been working in primary school too, so yeah. And throughout the whole process, how I grown up as an independent educator, throughout the whole process, I suffer a lot. I will use the word suffer because kid is not easy. Instead of kids, you have to deal with all the co-workers, all the parents, all the policy and procedure. So I think it's sort of like a challenge as a newcomer in Australia, especially English is not our first language. Yeah, right? But we can use good of it because we are all bilingual speaker, at least bilingual, right? So as a bilingual speaker, we can use good of this to get a better position in the kindy or whatever education setting it is. Me, myself, I'm from Hong Kong. I do Cantonese, I do English, I do Chinese, as well as I do Korean too. So I can speak 4 languages. And this is what they like to employ because let's think about it, 25, 30 bucks an hour as a starting point, and you can hire a full language speaker, why not? Right? This is how I get employed so quickly. Also, as educator and early childhood teacher, you don't just work in the classroom, you have to work behind the classroom, which means you also need do paperwork. If you're bad in computer and admin job, maybe you have to improve right now because you have to do all the paperwork, like you have to print out the paper for the student, you have to cut everything, you have to do some artwork too, you have to do decoration, you have to do everything, no matter who you are. Even though you're director of the kindergarten, you have to do that, right? So you have to sort of like having this kind of skills too. Instead of professional skill, like the curriculum, how you react when incident happen as such, you do need a strong soft skill, including communication skill and how you present yourself. Yep. So when a family come into your center or kindergarten or primary school, they don't actually know you at all. With this Asian face, they may think, are you eligible, qualified to be my son or my daughter teachers? yes, you have to show them, yes, you can, even though you're international student or you're international, you're not Australian, you can put a big smiley face and say something, at least a hi, at least some eye contact to show them you are professional, you are going to look after their kids. Yep, so show them. And when you kind of like step up a little bit to give them some interaction, your bond and your trust is built day by day and day by day. Then you will be a very important role in your center or your school. That is how I get employed, and this is how I can be a teacher as an international. And later on, I do take some more role in the education industry. Anyone have kid here? No? No? No one's got a kid here? No more? You might familiar with the word NAP plan. It's a test. Yeah, NAP plan is a test. And later on, take some more role in the education system, which I also do some marking for the NAP plan test. It's a public exam in Australia, right? So if you do a program which eligible to teach to 8 years old, I think it's grade 3, you can join this kind of stuff too. It's not just you need to be a teacher in a classroom, but step back a little bit, you can join the education system, you can join the curriculum, you can join the policy, you can do everything. So being an early child teacher is not just a teacher. It's more than how you see yourself and how you put your role in Australian education system. So it's pretty wild and pretty funny and interesting, and you can do all sorts of jobs. And looking back, I am now stepping back a little bit, and I'm also doing some counseling job and also sharing my experience. Even though I'm not a teacher right now, I still do something about education because that is what I like. I have storytelling classes, which is free. It's just for the community, and also some sort of like English sharing and helping some family, new migrants, to settle down, especially they have kids, settle down in Australia. So this is not like a teacher stuff, but I use all my background, all my professional qualification and knowledge to help my people, help international to settle down in Australia as a whole. So being a teacher is not just a little bit a job and then getting salary and then being admired by the kid and family. It's actually how you build yourself and actually how you see yourself in Australia. So I know there's lots of people thinking about high salary and PR pathway, but look, being a teacher is always more than that. Yep, that is sort of like my sharing. Thank you so much. Yeah, any question, just random question, just don't ask how old am I, and that would be fine.
Based on your experiences, did you think that why this career is like lack of like?
Yeah, definitely. I will say it's different. Childcare workers is always lack of, and ECT is a yes or no. It very depends on what kind of ECT are you looking for. If you're looking for an ECT that in a small center, definitely not, because normally they will work there for their whole life. But if you can look for a job that is a big company, which Australian-wide, for example, Edges, Good Start, yeah, or sort of, I can't think of something, and they always have your profile in their system, then if they have vacancies, so they will call you. So look for a big company if you really, really want a job. But I'm not sure how they pay and how the work environment is. But as in just saying getting a job as an ECT, put your information, CV to the big company system. Then they can always refer. From my experience, I always get emails. I still got email from the kindergarten to invite me to be our ECT. So I think that's why it's happening, is because when I seek job as an ECT, I just randomly throw my CV out. Yeah, and LinkedIn is very important too. So yeah, very important. This is how they see you, how you present yourself. I'm not saying that you have to be like a bluffer, but you just sort of like making yourself presentable and look good, and people will see you. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, any tips for looking after kids?
I'm assuming that your pathway is via an ECT, right? How was it? How was the experience? Like, what was your struggles then?
Struggle,
Like,
yeah.
for example, did you have to go to a regional area in Queensland just to,
Yeah, that is a very good question. I like that because talking about regional area, I graduated in Darwin, Northern Territory. Yeah, I graduated in Darwin, but I didn't go to regional area in Queensland, but instead I just go to Darwin. So I graduated in Charles Darwin University. That's why I can kind of like, I'm a professional in regional area because that is extremely regional. Yeah, so some of my work experience are back in Darwin and some is in Australia. I mean not Queensland, sorry, Queensland, because my diploma was with TAFE Queensland in Toowoomba. So all of my qualifications from regional area. I will say yes, regional area can help you a bit. Unlike this city, people in regional area are more open and more kind of nice, I would think. So for cities, there's too many people. So a lot of competitors, I would say. A lot of good people, a lot of bright people, so you have to fight with them. I would say go to regional area is not that bad. Step back a little bit, have some more time for yourself. And actually the teachers are good in Darwin and teachers are good in Toowoomba. I feel nothing wrong with that. So go to regional area to strengthen yourself is one of my skills too. If I can study a good school like UNSW or UC, definitely yes, but I actually can't afford that. Yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions? I see a man here.
Oh, I might just talk as well after you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so
What's
much.
your name again?
Felicia.
Felicia.
Nice to meet you.
Someone from our childcare centers will contact you and you're gonna have already straight away a online meeting. Why this is happening? Because right now we are looking for over 300 people to work in our childcare centers. Felicia was saying something here really cool about like being a foreigner. The reason why I think we are in this position right now, and it's not only us, it's the whole industry. Right now, there's a huge demand for professionals in this industry. I'm not generalizing saying Australians are not good workers. They are, but the amount of, for example, call sick we get, it's insane, honestly. If you need 20 people in a childcare center, you might need more people because, you know, in terms of legality, you have the ratio as well. So it can't just be you there looking after, I don't know, 20 kids. And in our business, we are growing even more every year. So the plan is to open between 5 to 10 childcare centers every year in Australia. So right now, right, if you guys want to work with us, I'm going to be really careful with this, but I'm going to pretty much say to you is a guaranteed job. Why I'm saying being a bit careful, because you're going to go for an interview, right? So far, I have had 0 refusals in terms of people, oh, no, we're not going to hire you. We are desperate. We need people. But we need people in 2 regions right now, in 2 exactly places, specific places. One of them is Townsville. And you're saying about Darwin as well, just made me think that, and Brisbane. What's the cool thing about Townsville is exactly what Felicia was saying. Regional area, there's less people, there's less competition. Now I get this question, oh, but am I going to get sponsored? I don't know. Yes, we do sponsor people. We sponsor around between 10 to 15 people per year. That's the big number. Yeah, it's a big number. It's a big group. It's a really big group. So there we go. So this is sort of like where our childcare centers are. What's happening right now is the childcare centers had reached out to us and they say, hey, we need people. Okay, childcare, where do you need people right now? Where is urgent? Here's urgent. I need people there for yesterday in Townsville. Right? So as I'm saying to you, there's no schools that will come to you and say, hey, apply to study with us. You're going to come, I'm going to teach you, and you're going to work straight away. Paid. It's not like a work placement. You're going to get paid for that. We're going to get to that as well in terms of money, how much you get. Also, as I said to you, we have in Brisbane, not a problem. You're already here. If you want to be here, it's okay. We also, when you're going to do the application, you will select where you want to work. Is it Townsville or Brisbane? But keep in mind what Felicia was saying. Maybe in Townsville, your chances for maybe a pathway might be a little bit higher because the competition, it is a bit less. Townsville is beautiful. I don't know if you guys have been there. Incredible. Like, I really like. Freaking hot. Really hot. Whoa. But guys, so imagine group is the group, but if you go around, you might see some of those names. So some of them may have Imagine name, Children First. This is our brands. You can go online as well, Imagine Childcare. You will find out more about us. This is our main business. That's, as I said to you, we have the schools, we have Imagine, we have another school as well on the Gold Coast, but we have the childcare centers, which is amazing. We are also in America, in the USA as well. It's a huge group. Why it's cool, what's the cool thing as well about working for a company like this is maybe you're really awesome. You work in Townsville, you're fantastic. There's high chance maybe you to get sponsored, but maybe you might even be able to relocate eventually. That's not something I can guarantee you, but it's something definitely possible to happen as well. Right now, as I said, Townsville in Brisbane, maybe in 2 months' time, they're going to tell, okay, enough people, now we need people in Sydney. We are opening campuses just to teach you childcare. So we already have 8 campuses in Townsville, okay? Guys, so far so good, is it making sense? Yeah, cool. We're going to go to the questions really soon. So some of the childcares we have, a bunch of them. It's funny what you're saying, not funny, but I never work in childcare. I wouldn't say never, but pretty close. I would never work in childcare, I would say. But when I talk to people that work in the childcare, that's exactly what Felicia was saying. The biggest challenges are 2 things, is usually the parents and working with other people. It's a predominant female environment, right? Oh, I'm a man, do I have a chance? I would say you have a huge chance because there's not many men really working in this industry, and we need that as well. That's another thing as well that sometimes I get this question. Oh, cool. I have a job. Awesome. It's a job like any other job. You're going to sign up to study with us. We're going to give you the job as well. It's your responsibility to keep that job. If you go kick a kid, well, you're going to get fired. If you're arriving late every time, you're probably going to get fired. It's like any other job. You're in probation. But we need people. We are desperate. So, and most of the times, internationals, they do quite a good job because that's the thing. We really want to maybe stay in Australia. We want a pathway, so you give your blood. Cool, so that's the regions where we are at the moment. It's going to go, okay, this is where I wanted to get. Money. So most likely, guys, you're going to start here, probably as a trainee, like 26, 27 hours. Then that might change a little bit. Damn, it's not a good money. It's the start. Okay? And remember as well, some of you, who actually has experience already with kids in childcare? You have 1, 2, that's it. It's all good. As I said to you guys, don't worry if you don't have experience. It's all good. For you, too, who has, that's awesome. I would say you may be already a bigger step ahead because, you know, that's going to be, it's good if you already have experience. If you don't have experience, it's okay. You will be, you'll be learning anyway with us. But this gives you, Felicia, as she said, she's here. Early, well, I don't know how much she makes, but it's all good. But she's an early childhood teacher. And that's a cool thing as well. Maybe you come and study with us, you do a Cert 3 diploma. Eventually, maybe you want to do you want to become a teacher as well, and then you do like a Bachelor of Education. Can you guys see it? It's a bit small, but anyway, if you guys want to take a photo as well. This document, guys, anyway, we can send that to you anyway, so don't worry. If you talk to Saul, they will send you, this document as well. As I said to you, we're desperate. We need people. All right? So there's no schools right now that will give you a job because they don't have a childcare center. We do. So that's a really cool thing. Now, but I'm going to go study at TAFE. Incredible school. Awesome. But me as a school representative, I want you to come and study with me. I will convince you to come and study with me. And I have something really cool here, which is a job. So if you want to come and work for, I'm not saying right now, maybe you already have done childcare Cert 3 at TAFE or diploma, fantastic. Apply to work with us. You might get a job as well. But if you're going to enroll with a different school, come and study with us. It's even easier anyway. We're studying with the same group anyway. And something I can tell you is about Imagine, we know what's needed. We are in the industry. So that's something awesome to know. So far, so good, guys?
Yep.
Exciting? Freaking yeah, it's a job. No one's giving, I'm giving you a job right now. It's amazing.
It's actually pretty great if I have this opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I don't have to struggle. You know how funny it is if you need to be a student again, doing English, doing academic, and then you have to seek your placement and also seek your job. It's just too headache. And if you have a pathway, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's you know what, as I work for the schools mainly, we have been talking to our group for years now and say, hey, we have childcare here. Why aren't giving students the opportunity? But because maybe the old mentality was like, oh, I want to keep a bit Australians, or maybe this and that. But again, this country is moved by foreigners in all industries. And as I said, this is not only us, that's what's happening in the industry at the moment. But we also put ourselves in this situation. But that's an awesome opportunity for you, as I'm saying. And that's the reason why we are, as I said to you, I'm pretty much guarantee you a job. I'm going to give you an interview, and you're not going to pass this interview if, I don't know, if you say something inappropriate. But as Felicia said as well, make yourself presentable. Say, hey, I really want to work. That's, I don't have experience, but I'm going to be studying with you guys. Give him the job. Give him the job. What is that? Yeah, cool. Hiring process. So, guys, super easy process. You're going to enroll, normal. So you guys are going to extend your visa, right, for 2 years. Childcare. With the enrollment, you're gonna. That's another thing as well. We're gonna charge a little bit more for that. Fair enough. And I'm gonna be really transparent about that. So we have two options. You can come and study childcare with us. I don't want a job pathway. I'm already working. Oh, good, no problem. But you can still come and study with us. We are here in Brisbane. We are on the Gold Coast. You pay, I think it's like $18,000, $19,000 by the end of 2 years, and that's us only giving you the studies. Here it is. Now, okay, I want to work with you. Perfect. You're going to apply for a job pathway. We charge you an extra, I think, $3,000 on the top of it. So it's $23,000, $24,000 at the end of 2 years. That's how much it's going to cost you. But during this process, because you're applying for the job pathway, as I said, I'm going to give you an extra form. You're going to put your details there. Someone from my childcare center will call you, like reach out to you through email. We're going to organize a meeting with you. You select where do you want to go, Townsville or Brisbane. Okay? Keep in mind, maybe Townsville might be a better option. Just keep that in mind. So you will know pretty soon if you have passed that. As I said, I haven't seen anyone yet who has not been accepted. How's the time going? Is all good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? So interview stage, easy, bang, job's yours. Enrollment stage, you're gonna same normal process as well. Anyway, visa application, guys. Visa application, the way I see it, I don't do visas, so they do that. But remember, that's pretty cool. You are applying for a visa already with a job opportunity. You have a proof of a job opportunity. I believe that maybe it will make your application even stronger as well. Applications in Australia. That's it, guys. It's unique. Now, yes, guys, do you have questions? Please ask me questions because this is a unique opportunity. It's coming. I can feel it. I can feel it, I can feel it, I can feel it.
I think I can help.
Please,
you out
yes.
a little bit. How the mentoring system in the childcare, do like one-on-one or
What do you mean?
mentoring system? So when you go to the placement and work in the childcare
Yeah,
system,
yeah.
How's the ratio? I mean, the mentor and mentee ratio depends.
Yeah, look, as I said at the beginning, I don't really work for the childcare centers. Like we work for the schools, but we also have the childcares. I wouldn't know exactly how to answer that because at the end of the day, I'm not really for the childcare centers. Yeah. All I can say, as I said, like it is a big group. Like specific questions like this, it would probably be someone from the childcare, and that's why who's going to be interviewing you is exactly someone from a childcare center, not me, because I'll have not even know what questions to ask. Do you like kids? Yes, job's yours. That's probably what will do it. But yeah, I wouldn't know much though. Yeah. But
also they would do the placement logbook for that.
oh yeah, absolutely, yes.
Placement logbook because you have to complete around.
I think 316
316
total,
okay.
yeah. Now this is good you're saying, because there's another thing as well. Maybe if you choose like, no, I don't want to do a job pathway. Okay, if you come to study here with us, only the course, you actually need the work placement. So then you need to go get a job, maybe unpaid job to do your work placement. But if you already work with us, of course, you're already in the childcare. You're not going to go and get another job to have a work placement. You're going to get a logbook, and then you're going to complete. I can't remember right now, I think it's 160 in one. Yeah, and then the other, in the rest in the diploma, I think. But in total, it's like 360 hours work placement, which is quite easy. And Felicia said before, and that's true. You're not going to start like maybe looking after kids. You're going to maybe get involved in the kitchen, doing like, you get involved in the environment, understanding that environment.
You have to.
You have to, yeah. I couldn't do it. Yeah. I couldn't do it. I have a dog. It's already enough. It's, Questions. He's ready to go. He's like, nah, I'm done. I don't want to go to the childcare center. Guys, but keep in mind, anyway, so as I said, it's a really unique thing. I never seen, I don't know any other schools that has a business like we do as well in childcares. This is, like if you want to do childcare, there we go. Like you have a job straight away, a job opportunity. So it's really good. If you have friends as well, maybe who already has studied childcare, let them know. Because as I said to you, like the main goal here right now for us, we want people in our childcares. We need people. And that's incredible position to be. It's different, right? Usually it's like, hey, I want a job. Like, hey, we need people. Come. So no questions? You guys are good? Fantastic. Nice. Awesome. Amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Getting a social worker job in Australia and then about to get a permanent resident visa as well. So she wants to share all the journey with you guys. So if you have any question, feel free to ask her. Thank you, Eji.
Hi guys, my English name is Lena, so nice to meet you guys. I'll be really quick. Huge respect to people who works in childcare system, because for me, I wouldn't, like if a child cries, I want to cry too. So for me, it's I guess becoming a social worker and working as a social worker in Australia, the best thing is that you get to work in a different sector. Like you can work in hospital, you can work under government, you can work in schools and mental health, criminal justice or housing or whatever. So many range of jobs out there you can work with. What else? Yeah, so I would say I would I would have like different recommendations to which stage you're in. Like if you're currently preparing to, like looking to study before, like if you're preparing to study which degree you want to study, then I would recommend you to focus on English and getting more, focusing on language more, because English is the most, I would say, the important thing working as a social worker. Just the fact that also you have to do the IELTS just to get the skill assessments done as well. I would say, yeah, there's, I don't know what you guys are thinking, whether you want to become a social worker or you're thinking about it, but I think it's a really good opportunity if you like helping others and if you like working with people, because social workers are everywhere. You can, there's so many various jobs out there you can do. Me personally, I've been working as a social worker around almost 3 years now. I worked, I just resigned last like 2 weeks ago, and I've got a job actually in Queensland Health, so I'll be working in hospital in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, in terms of like salary wise, you can also, based on your job experience and your skills, you can sort of negotiate your salaries as well. So I would say, I think currently a lot of people get around, if you start working as a caseworker or a social worker, you can get about 80K a year, or 80K, starting from 80K or 90K a year. I'm currently getting, for myself, I'm getting 100K, more than 100K a year. So I think it's a really good opportunity if you like helping others, but you don't want to like touch blood like a nurse. If you don't want to work like in medical sector, or if you're not really good with kids, I think social worker, becoming a social worker is a great opportunity. What else? I don't know. Do you guys have any questions? Yes.
It's very interesting that you are going to work in hospital as
Yeah.
a social worker.
Yeah.
And then where did you work in the previously?
Oh,
You
previously?
said you just resigned.
Yeah. I previously I worked with veterans, so people who went to war, and yeah, people who worked as a soldier in military. I worked with veterans. They have lots of traumas, or they need some help. They're living alone. So yeah, work with veterans. Thank you. But yeah, it is a really rewarding job if you think about it, because for me, the reason I wanted to become a social worker, because I can't change whole world, but if I help someone, and I'm changing their world. So I wanted to be a social worker. So if it is a really rewarding job, and I think you can do it as well if you like helping others and care about community. Yeah, any questions?
Once you graduate, what are the options you have once you graduate as a social worker student?
You mean like as a job?
Yeah.
Different jobs. So you can basically work in, if you think about it, social worker, if there are people, you can work as a social worker. So not necessarily the job title will be a social worker. You can work as a counselor, you can work as a family worker, mental health worker, and things like that. But also if you're completing social work degrees, you have to complete 1,000 hours of placement in uni. So when you're completing those placement, you're likely to end up getting a job after the placement. So yeah, but it is really up to you. Some people are really interested in mental health field, like to work with people with mental health issues. You work with mental health. If you like working with, if you're interested in more women, domestic violence, or maybe homeless center, things like that. So yeah, just many different options you can choose from. That depends on what you're passionate about. Yeah.
When you do the placement in uni, do you choose to select the sector, or?
Yeah, you do. So you can like put your interest down. Not always. There's not a guarantee that you will get the similar areas placement, but they do try their best to put you in the placement, because you get to have, I think you're doing 2 placements, so one place 500 hours in one placement, and the second one you've got 500 hours, so you can experience 2 at the 2 different places. So yeah, you can decide.
Do we need a registration to work as a social worker?
You don't have to, but some organizations, they actually require you to be registered as a in Australia, what they call Australian Association of Social Workers. Yeah, but some organizations, they don't care. They're just like, oh, if you're qualified to, then that's fine. But usually, if you do a degree, you're qualified, so you don't have to be registered as a member. Yeah. So that's all. Thank you, guys.